Hi, welcome to the video 6 mistakes innovators should never make. You're watching the YouTube channel Inspiration for Innovation. I am GIJS van Wulfen. I'm a global speaker on creativity, design thinking and innovation. And with these practical videos, I like to help you to be a great innovator. And today I'm going to talk about 6 mistakes that the innovators never should make. Now stay to the end of the movie, because at the end of this movie I have a power tip and I'm introducing a new word to the innovation vocabulary. Who am I? Well, I'm a seasoned innovator. I worked in industry, I worked in consultancy, and the last 18 years I am an innovation facilitator. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life as an innovator. In the beginning I worked in the consumer goods industry. They call it the fast moving industry, but everything moves fast except innovation. It's such a traditional sector. The first company I worked for was a soup company, but it was doing great. It sold dry soups, but it had a 60% market share, mind you, 60% market share. And I was trying to innovate the product portfolio of soups, but in the end, why don't we just improve? We can make enough margin and profit with that, so nothing happens. Then I went into a candy company, and in a candy company the situation was totally different. Sales were going down, profit was going down, but it made everybody afraid to make mistakes. So they needed innovation, and I tried to give them innovation, but everybody was afraid to say yes. So also hardly anything happened. Later I became a consultant. Well, and then it's the problem of not invented here, right? I come in, try to innovate the company, but when I leave, all the energy go down. So I have made some mistakes on innovation. I like to share 6 that I see now regularly. The first one is monopolizing in innovation. That's a big mistake. What you see is that companies, they want to be agile. They want to be quick. So they form a special innovation department or a special innovation director. But what happens? Hey guys, you're the innovation director. I wish you lots of success. And I do nothing. No, it's up to you guys. What happens here is that the projects go quickly, but in the moment of implementation, the existing organization says, well, it's not my idea. Well, I don't think we can make it. Well, I don't think the customer will want it. Well, I don't believe in the business model. Well, I think the margin is too slow. Well, I don't think it fits our logistic process. So it is all not invented here, right? So never monopolize innovation and try to stimulate the rest, as you can't innovate alone. I'll come to that back later, right? So facilitate innovation instead of monopolizing innovation. Mistake number 2. No focus. Guys, we need something new. Go around. No, bring me something new, something revolutionary, something disruptive. But in the end, you only have limited time, limited money, limited resources. So when you're going to look everywhere, you can only dig this deep. And you don't find great ideas. So it is good for you to focus. On which markets should we focus? On which customer groups should we focus? On which technologies should we focus? On which trends should we focus? On which continents should we focus? Then the chance is that you explore deeper and you find better inspiration for a greater idea. So no focus, you end up nowhere. So make an innovation assignment and focus. That is tip 2. Mistake number 3. people tend to work on only one idea. Well, it's good to focus, but not on one idea. Because from the start of innovation to market launch, there's a long period with high uncertainty. Now, Cooper and GIJS researched this, and they found out that from the start of innovation to market introduction, only 1 out of 7 ideas reach the market. 1 out of 7. So never bet on one horse. Because if your idea doesn't seem feasible or the market doesn't like it, you have an alternative. So always work on multiple ideas, multiple projects to go to the market. Work at least on 5 or 4. Then the chance you hit the market with a good idea is much, much bigger. All right, mistake number 4. This is completely the opposite. It is let thousands flowers blossom. I was 2 years ago in a US-based company which is world famous for its innovation. It had a campus of 5,000 researchers with 1,000 projects, and they let thousands flowers blossom. But what happens? I walked there, I talked to the people, and they were all pretty frustrated. Why? They had hardly any resources because all the company's resources were split over 1,000 projects. They wanted to speed up, but they couldn't, right? So when you don't make a decision and don't choose and let 1,000 flowers blossom, competition will be ahead of you and you end up nowhere. By the way, they stopped with this policy, which is great. Mistake number 5. Endlessly researching. Now, how much uncertainty do you have at the start of innovation? Yes, 100%. You don't know if the idea is good or not, right? That's a problem. Now, how much uncertainty do you want before introduction? 0%. So with innovation, we are in the trade of risk reductions. We are uncertainty reducers as innovators. Now, will your management team say yes? It depends on their culture. It depends on their risk aversiveness, right? So normally I see innovators researching. But the moment you have the perfect business plan is the moment that your competitors already hit the market, right? So innovation is not about being right. It's about having the right it. And then you can improve. So don't research endlessly because you end up nowhere. Mistake number 6. It is only presenting ideas. Well, top management asks for ideas, but in the end you have to bring back business, right? Is there a customer friction interested? Do we have a right concept? Can we make it? Will there be a profit margin for us? What will be the risks, right? They want answers. The management team or your leadership team wants answers on those questions. So it's great if you bring back an idea. It's great if you have a nice video. It's great if you have a customer journey or personas or whatever. But it's also good to have a good business case, because that's what we want. Now, those were the 6 mistakes I so often encounter when people start innovating. Now, there's one last power tip. Innovation is transforming ideas into invoices. Now you can invent alone, but you cannot innovate alone. How many people do you need to go from idea to market? That's why there is no I in innovation. It should not be called I-novation. No, it should be called we-novation. Innovation is inclusive. Remember that. Now, I hope you like this movie. I like to make you a great innovator. My name is GIJS van Wulfen. I hope you enjoyed it, so please subscribe to this new YouTube channel, and most of all, stay safe.